Hello and welcome to Galatta Plus. In this video review episode, we're going to be talking about Anurag Kashyap's Nishaanchi. The film sees the filmmaker having a lot of fun in a genre that might be called reality kitsch. The story is built on staples of old-time Hindi cinema, from twins to a widowed mother to revenge for a murdered father, but instead of the traditional series of emotional highs, we get a leisurely paced film filled with a sense of how these events may unfold in the real world. The mix of grit and tongue-in-cheek humor is joyous and infectious. A longer review follows and it may contain spoilers.
Darling, mobile ullagin superstar.
INDICUS Photo Durable Exterior Paint with Duro Color Technology.
No compromise. Unga side liyo, enga side liyo. It's a GT promise.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
To get a sense of Anurag Kashyap's new movie or new half movie, given that this is part 1, I'll describe the opening scene in some detail. The scene is about a bank robbery. Now, what would you expect? Nail-biting tension, a pulse-pounding score, fast cutting, in short, a jangly sense of the audience's nerves being shredded. But here's how Anurag sees it. It begins with a leisurely chat between a bank officer and the man who makes great puri chana and a cameo by Lijo Jose Pellicheri. It moves on to a very comic stretch where a man in a mask reads out a set of threatening instructions. It moves on to the sight of a couple in a car where the man gets out to have a leisurely conversation with a security guard where he talks about Rajnikant and Giraftar. And then the cops move in. Someone is arrested and taken to the police station where we get a leisurely conversation about a dream. Everything happens in a flavorful, roundabout way, reminiscent of reading a juicy and yes, leisurely book on a long train journey. With its hinterland setting and localized accents, with its story that spans at least 2 generations, with its casual bloodletting, with its elaborate and elongated scenes, with its brash male characters and strong female characters, with its many eccentric indulgences, Nishaanchi may sound like Gangs of Wasseypur. There's even the emotional distance, the result of the whole thing resembling the work of a postmodern prankster rather than a traditional dramatist. But these are just surface level similarities. The two films are very different. Nishaanchi is smaller in scope and it does not have the feel of a sprawling saga that tells the story of a place and its people. It's also much lighter in tone and it's the most fun Anurag Kashyap has had in a while. But it's one of the things, he may overuse an in-joke from Scarface, but it's one of the things that you brush aside easily because of how fresh the film looks and feels, with cinematographer Sylvester Fonseca almost becoming a co-director with his breathtaking work. If you want to masturbate to cinema, this is your dog-eared copy of Debonair. Nishaanchi is set in Kanpur and its foundation is a mix of cliches and tropes from older Hindi cinema. The writing is by the director Rajan Chandel and Prasoon Mishra. The opening sounds of the film come from the prayers of a mosque and the clanging of temple bells, suggesting a time of Hindu-Muslim bhai bhai. We get the equivalent of two friends in love with the same girl, the widowed mother at a sewing machine, the Ram and Shyam-like mix of strong and weak brothers, someone out to avenge a father's murder, the zamindar out to snatch the meager pockets of lands belonging to poorer people, the villain adopting the hero's son and leading him to a life of crime, the cabaret dancer who oozes sass and sex. But unlike the other films, Nishaanchi isn't larger than life. It's a genre that you might call reality kitsch. It's proof of what a major filmmaker can make from minor material. Aishwarya Thackeray plays twins named Bablu and Dablu. He's a good find. I especially liked him in a scene where he, as Bablu, has a leisurely conversation with local big shot Ambika Prasad, played by the ever-reliable Kumud Mishra. They're talking about how Bablu cannot do the one thing that he's being asked to do. The context is dramatic, but the confrontation hardly looks like one. Aishwarya infuses rage, reluctance, and grudging respect into the stretch, and we see a man who is trying to say fuck you as politely as he possibly can. Nishaanchi is set in 3 time frames. It starts in 2006, goes back to 1996 when Bablu and Dablu were children, and returns to 2003. Aishwarya dominates the first and third time frames, though the women around him steal the show. Whatever you think of Anurag or this movie, no one can deny the filmmaker's talent for using fresh faces. Vedika Pinto is thrillingly alive as Bablu's love interest Rinku. She is a former Kathak dancer who now performs item songs as Rangili Rinku. Her personality is equally colorful and we are guaranteed to see more of her in part 2. But the real Nishaanchi of the film, in all senses of the word, is Monica Pawar, who plays Manjari, the mother of Bablu and Dablu. She has the lankiness and the angular grace of Nutan in her earlier films, and she is the most controlled force of nature that you've probably seen. When the cocky Bablu is sent to jail, Manjari is upset, but at that moment, all she says is that he should not try to be a tiger because he is going to a zoo and not a jungle. चिड़ियाघर में शेर और बंदर का एक ही औकात है. It's a fabulous line. In a way, Nishaanchi is about the loss of a way of life. A Kathak dancer becomes an item girl. A sharpshooter gives up her talent when she becomes a housewife. A man with the robust name of Jabardast, played by Vineet Kumar Singh, loses his position as a wrestler because of the politics in the akhada. We will soon see him bathing a buffalo. The film references change too. Bablu brings up the contrast between Mughal-e-Azam and Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, and it's easy to see how the family feud of the former gave way to the family friendliness of the latter. It's easy to look back to a time when the break in a film came with the word Madhyantar, which is replicated here, and not interval or intermission. But the film works even without any of the subtext because it is so filled with the joy of kitschy pop culture. Zihale Miskin from Gulami is remixed as a jingle for Garam Masala. There is a song reminiscent of Mere Jeevan Sathi from Ek Duje Ke Liye, but using the names of films from a later era. Even the staple attire of a screen mother, that is the white sari, gets a twist. When the mother asks her son why he remembers his father, he says that her white sari won't let him forget. It is actually a small bit of gender commentary. At another point, when a man scolds his son for killing a bird with his catapult, his wife reminds him that he eats chicken. Again, this feels like a small bit of something bigger, like the fact that the character played by Mohammad Zishan Ayub is named Kamal. The biggest problem with Nishaanchi is that its ending is actually the Madhyantar of a giant movie. We shouldn't have to wait for part 2. We shouldn't have to wait so long for part 2, that is. But if there's more like this in store, the wait should be worthwhile. That's it about Nishaanchi. If you like this video review, do subscribe to Galatta Plus and see you soon at the movies.
Darling, mobile ullagin superstar.
INDICUS Photo Durable Exterior Paint with Duro Color Technology.
No compromise. Unga side liyo, enga side liyo. It's a GT promise.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.